we have the voice of the one and only Sunny Star Scout. Please welcome Jenna Warren. Next up, we have one of the incredible score composers for Make Your Mark. It is Sean Boyer! And then his beloved counterpart, another great score composer, we have Benjamin Pinkerton. And last but certainly not least, he's worked on the comics, he's written for the show, he's kind of done it all at this point, and he's returning once again to Harmonycon, Tommy Fleece! Hello. All right, thank you all for being here. We'll go through the obvious questions real quick. But first I'm curious, how many conventions in general and how many PonyCons have you been to, including this one? We'll just go right down the line. It's okay if you don't know the exact number.
I think this is my 5th, and this is my 1st.
Ooh. Welcome. Do we have mic 3 on?
Ooh.
There it is.
This is actually my first convention. This is my first one too.
I don't have a funny answer or a correct one. I've been to a lot. I've been to all of these Harmonycons, I think. And I went to once when it was called Nightmare Nights. And I've been to the Harmonycon and the Trevor Free Northwest and all of your batch cons is Windy City. I did one in Midwest one time, Midwest Pony Fest. They had bed bugs there. A lot. I've been to a lot of conventions.
AV, can we get like 1 or 2 of these stage monitors on, just in case? Because I want to ask them questions and I want to make sure they can hear them. Okay, so if everyone could very quickly just describe what you do for the show. What is it like? What's the process? Anything that you think is interesting about it? And go down the line again.
Sure, yeah, so I play Sunny. It's been so much fun. I started, I think, 2 years ago now, maybe, is when I got the call that I booked it, and I told my agent to shut up, because I didn't believe that they wanted me to be a part of this like iconic franchise. And it's so fun. We go in for sessions every week. I love working with my cast. We're very close, and it's been so much fun, and I'm so thankful you guys have been so welcoming to me and the rest of the G5 cast. So thank you so much, and yeah, excited to be back here.
Thanks.
So I'm one of the composers on My Little Pony Make Your Mark, and I've been on the show since I found out I got the show in 2021, and scoring it since January 22, and it's just been a really amazing experience. I believe that I got the gig. I actually pitched on the show and find out for a long time that I got a gig. I thought it had gone to somebody else, but was thrilled to find out that I got it. So many great people along the way, and yeah, so really, I got the pleasure of working with every day.
Very nice.
It's been such a great experience. Like Sean, I found out in 2021 that I booked the show, and in 2022 we started scoring it. And I had the privilege of working on both 3D and the 2D, which has been really fun. I kind of came in on 3D to help Sean because it was a lot of work. So the 3D is, there's more kind of traditional orchestral scoring, and then the 2D, they kind of take more of a pop kind of fun approach to the music. Yeah, so it's been really great getting to do both types of music for the show.
Awesome.
I started working on My Little Pony comics in 2012, and I drew those for 8 years, and then inexplicably I was hired to write for the TV show for Make Your Mark when they started making that show. And I wrote the Jinxie Games, and I wrote the two-part finale, Root of All Evil with Jillian. And I wrote some other stuff with BC. So, but yeah, that's what I do. I've done a lot of My Little Pony in my life.
I will say, if we're going to go down the line, we don't have to clap after every answer. That's okay. We know that you're excited. So, since this is specifically about Generation 5, I have to ask all of you, so whether you came into working on the show in 2021 or all the way back in 2012, at the time that you got signed on, how much did you know about My Little Pony, the franchise, the culture around it, probably after 2010? What did you know? What were you ready for?
I only knew My Little Pony through watching it with my 2-year-old boy. And so that was 2012. But, you know, like obviously everyone knows My Little Pony, and it's been such fun working on a show that when you say what the name of the show is, everyone knows what it is, instead of all the other kind of stuff that people might not know.
That's awesome.
For me, like, I'm a kid of the 80s, and so I know the original show. I have a big family. A lot of them are girls. A lot of my female cousins watched the show, and they had all the toys. When I told them I was on the show, they were like, couldn't believe it. Oh my God, such and such good. So it was, I knew the show very well, and my son watches it now. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I of course knew My Little Pony. Maybe who doesn't? You probably lived under a rock. And then when I got the role, I very quickly learned about bronies and convention life, and it felt like a whole other world. And I was shocked and amazed at how a group of people with such passion came together and created something so special, that you guys have kept conventions growing and going every year. And so I was so excited that I was a part of a series that had such a family community around it, because you work on a lot of different shows and you don't have a lot of sort of visual or like experiences that you get to see the people that you impact. So that's been really special. So thank you guys for that.
When I first, in 2012, when I first started working on it, I didn't have very much, like I have sisters, and they had the toys, and I think they had watched the show, and then I had seen probably an episode of the show, like in a hotel room, while I was just like, this looks interesting, and I watched it. But when I got the job, I had to sort of do a crash course in ponies, and it was like pre-Netflix. I think there was Netflix, but it was like the whole show wasn't streaming or something, so I was like buying DVDs of it. That's how old I am. And but then when I got the job on G5, I knew almost too much about it, because we were constantly going like, we should put this in, or we should do this other continuity shit. And they was like, no, we don't do that. So I was sort of been on both sides of it.
That's great. Yeah, Tony's been around for a while.
I am rather old.
So we do have the volunteers walking around now with the papers. So if you do have a question that you want to ask, just raise your hand and they will come get it from you. You can ask just one person something. You can ask something for everyone. But by all means, we want to know what you want to know. We got a hand up here, so make with the getting. All right, I have to ask, otherwise someone else will. Your favorite G5 character, and your favorite, and if you have one, your favorite character from a past generation.
Izzy has to be for me.
Yeah.
You can have the same one. It's
I was
okay.
gonna say Izzy too.
It might be a sweetener. Oh, I like Sparky.
Yeah.
He was easy to write too. And G4, I always say Applejack. I like Applejack a lot. Yeah,
Rainbow Dash,
sure. Yeah. Sporty.
Twilight, Nicole Oliver.
Oh yeah.
Nicole Oliver.
Not Princess Celestia, just Nicole Oliver.
Just Nicole Oliver.
Nicole Oliver is our favorite. comic.
Nicole is amazing.
I mention her as much as I can every time I get the chance.
Who is the grandma again? Is it Grandma Figgy?
Grandma Figgy?
Yeah, she's got some sauce.
Icon.
All right, we have fan questions now. All right, so this one's for everyone. What's different about working on Generation 5 compared to all of your other work? How does G5 stand out amongst the resume?
Well, I got healthcare, that ruled.
Well, I think I already mentioned this earlier, but just saying that you could we're working on My Little Pony and everyone knows what the show is. That's fun. And it was a great experience because it was the first time we got to do an orchestral score. Yeah, so that was a great challenge.
Yeah, it's completely different than any of the other work that I've done. I come from a history of doing a lot of quiet shows, ambient type music. So this was, I was actually looking for a show like Emo Prom. So I've always wanted to do an orchestral score. It's the polar opposite of all the other stuff I was doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
When Zip was being like Detective Zip, would you bring in like prime ambient strings and stuff?
Oh yeah, there's kind of a Mission Impossible meets James Bond kind of.
That's fun.
That was a lot of fun.
I think just the energy of the show is a lot different than other shows I've been on. So much fun, there's always something going on, and the chemistry of the characters is really special too. You can really tell that you're very close, and we're very close to the cast, like you said, so that chemistry really translates on the screen, which is really cool in animation.
Awesome, excellent. I really like this question. For Jenna Warren, what's your favorite flavor of smoothie?
Aww.
Strawberry Ripple. Come on now. Come on now.
For everyone, what is your perfect Sunday? Let's get to know the people, not just the show.
Are we talking about the dessert or the day?
Oh, good.
It is spelled like the day of the week, but I will let that be up to your interpretation.
Okay.
Well, the perfect Sunday for me is not having to be a dad or a husband.
I'm a sports fan, especially hockey, so I like to watch hockey and just take it easy on Sundays. Have some downtime with the family.
Cool.
Tony's in a Wawa.
Oh, I mean, I guess like I really like working, so I work most Sundays. But like, ideally, that means that I'm not super stressed about it. I'm just being creative, and my phone does not ring at all. That's what I like. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with caramel sauce,
Good.
sprinkles, whipped cream, score bits, right?
Nuts or no nuts?
Yeah.
That's roasted.
Salt. No.
Sorry, I'm just very amused. All right, we've got one specifically for Tony. This one comes with a backstory. It says, I'm personally a big fan of the comics, which, good.
Thank you.
There's a panel about that on Sunday that I want to see everyone at.
Yeah, come through.
It seems writing in the comics is less restricted than writing in the show. How do you think the show would change if they let you use storylines from the comics?
Oh, that's interesting. That's not my experience. I found them to be equally restrictive. but there, I guess there was, you sort of could get a little more dark in the comics than they let you get in the show. But I don't think that's necessarily the direction that I would take it if I, if I had my druthers. I don't think anybody like, I know some of you guys want like the grim My Little Pony, but I don't think the public is ready for that really. Yeah, I mean, I guess if they just let us go hog wild and go full comic book with it, we could get pretty nuts. But it's the same people who have annoying notes about the comic as the ones that have annoying notes about the TV show. So I don't think it would change too terribly much.
Thank you. That was a very good question, so thank you, whoever submitted that. All right, we're staying on the scene theme with this next one. So, do you have a favorite emo band?
Shannon's face
Pressure
right
on
now.
the music, guys.
Would the Cranberries be considered emo?
What's that?
Are they like proto-emo?
That's fixed. I think that's fair.
I'm trying to think.
R.I.P. Divorce.
We're 90s.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not emo genre.
Yeah, to be honest, I never got into, I was into alternative.
Emo is alternative or anything?
I think it's the same video
Early
station.
emo, early band.
Grunge.
Yeah, more grunge.
Yeah.
Is My Chemical Romance emo?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
that one.
Very much so.
I celebrate their whole catalog.
Alright.
I got one that says, it sounds like Sean's mic isn't loud enough, so AV, if someone could bump that up a little bit. I was like, we got the question, Sean, can you get closer to the mic? And I don't think he can.
Whoa!
Inside his mouth.
All right, we've got another one for Jenna.
Okay.
What is your favorite dorky moment from Sunny?
Oh gosh.
So many.
I feel like
I have the answer.
you do. Do you want to take it then? Okay. I feel like she's just so nerdy in general that she has so many jokes that just don't hit. But every time she's around Queen Haven, she gets like so nervous. So also when she tried to copy Zip and they it just it's not Sunny, okay? What is your moment? Because
For me, it's the My Bananas moment.
oh my god, that's so true. I was in that studio session for so long, just saying bananas. Like it lost all like meaning and context, and people have asked me so many times to write like my bananas when I'm sliding, and it makes me laugh because I'm so glad I impacted you so much with that song. Beautiful voice.
My mama was totally bananas.
Sorry, I'm writing down notes for future guest of honor panels that might take place later today or Sunday. I forgot how to spell bananas. All right, we're good.
B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
I had B-A-N-A and my brain stopped. What was it like working on a band? All right, composers. What kind of directions are you given for the score? And do you think there's any difference between 2D and 3D score composing?
Yeah, so very early on, we were told that they were looking for a sophisticated sounding score, like orchestral score. That's what I have to interpret what that meant. But they gave me the score from the movie by Peter Pereira as a guideline. And then, so the 2D series is more bright.
Yeah, it's more fun, and they didn't really take anything too seriously. It's more poppy and upbeat. But then they have those moments where there's action and tension, and then you can kind of whip out the orchestra then.
Yeah, they told us nothing that sounded had too many like preschool tropes. I found out that xylophone is a bad instrument, even though we used it. So.
You guys had, what have you had in your bio that they really like using bells?
Yes.
Is there a way around that? Is there like, can you say like, well, no, this is this is a marimba, or this is...
Well, actually, we did use a marimba instead of. We got a lot of noise outside. Marimba, and then and that seemed to do the trick.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
Jenna, how did you nail the voice of Sunny, and how do you get into her voice before recording?
Aw, it's really nice. Well, when I was going through the audition process, I watched the movie, and so I was trying to really mimic what Vanessa Hudgens did with Sunny. And so through the callback process, I worked a lot with Court Lane, and he sort of said, lose that, we want to hear you, like we want to hear your voice. And so I dialed it back from that, and then I had my own interpretation. I wasn't trying to copy somebody else, and they really liked what I did with that. So that was kind of really nice to hear that they didn't want me to be something that I wasn't. I wasn't trying to mimic Vanessa or be exactly like her, because the show is going to be different than the movie, and we were about to start a whole new world. So that was comforting to know that what I was doing as myself was good enough from my slate. So when you send an audition tape, you introduce yourself basically, and then you start going in your character voice. And he really liked how my normal voice sounded when I introduced myself. So that's sort of how the voice of Sunny came to be. And also throughout the seasons, she's grown a lot. She used to be really meek and scared, and just wanted everyone to be happy, and was almost scared of it not working out. But I think she has more volume in her voice now when she speaks, and so that's really fun too. She's not a one-dimensional character, and so that's been fun to do as well. I don't have to stick in a kind of range. I can be very free, which is fun.
I'm sure that makes it a lot easier and a lot of just said fun. So it probably, yeah, it helps a lot, I assume. All right, whoever submitted this, you're playing with fire, because I'm gonna ask them to be honest. In all honesty, what was your reaction when finding out about bronies?
Well, I was amazed. I didn't realize that the fan base that was out there. I just thought it was a really cool thing.
I think it was like, what? No way. Like, this is a thing. But like, no, like emotion behind it. It's like, wait, what? Like, what? Like, I don't know. It was cool.
I didn't realize like the sheer size of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big
Oh,
community.
It's real big.
We have a text thread that we've had for like 10 years of all the people working on Pony Comics. And so before anybody had met bronies, we all were just like, this seems weird. And then when the first time Katie Cook and Andy Price went to a pony convention, all of a sudden the text thread blew up and they were like, they're everywhere. Oh my God, they spend money. And we were just like, oh, sweet. This sounds good.
This is a very interesting question. I might reword it a little bit, but the word harmony holds such a grand meaning in G4 and in G5. And the word magic was a very big part of the older generations and took some time to really be introduced, especially in the music, into the new generation. So what does the word magic mean to you, and what do you think it means to the show?
Bing bong.
And does it impact how you go about your job?
Yeah, you definitely want to hit those magical moments with some sparkle, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think it means like community, because if you remember in the first special, magic was kind of fritzing. It wasn't. We find out it's because if the ponies aren't getting along, they learn to work together. Magic comes back. So
And they're still learning about magic.
Still learning about it.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it.
We were like, for us in the writers' room, we talked about the magic constantly because it was so much. It was like, yeah, the magic is on the fritz. The magic, we're introducing new magic, but then also they wanted to differentiate it from Friendship is Magic as like a brand and as a yeah, we did like talk about the magic less, but it was still entirely about the magic. And then for me and Jillian, who was a showrunner, we were sort of like the holdovers from G4, me in the comics and her as a writer on the show, and she wrote the novels. And so we were always sort of just like, well, we have to make this work with G4. We have to make it make sense. Where the like corporate didn't care as much, they were just like, whatever, the ponies. So we were always trying to fit in like the theme of Friendship is Magic, and like make sure that like even if the magics had changed and the ponies had sort of, it's 1,000 years later and they'd forgotten, and we were just like, well, friendship still is magic. So there's a part in the finale that we wrote, and a scene I wrote where Sunny and Opaline are fighting, and Opaline tells Sunny that she's like, you're just the same as me. You know, you just want knowledge. You just want to be powerful. You want knowledge, and what is knowledge? You know. And then Sunny, she goes, well, you'll never have what I have. I have friendship. And what is friendship, Opaline? And we didn't say friendship is magic, but obviously, you know, like everybody at home was like, it's magic. So we tried to get as much magic into the show as possible.
Awesome. I'm gonna ask Jenna just a selfish thing real quick, but one of my favorite things coming to conventions for the longest time was getting to hear the voices. So can Sunny just tell us that she loves magic?
I love magic.
Thank you. All right, to Tony Fleece. And I don't know how much of this you could or could not talk about, so feel free to invoke the Moose Clause. But did you get any notes from Hasbro regarding your Make Your Mark episodes that you can share with us?
Well, yes, we had many notes from Hasbro. That's part of it. None of them that were just so crazy that were just like, this doesn't make sense. How could they do this to us? It was more just like, you know, brand doesn't like this. Can you make this more like this? There's no fun ones, sadly. Yeah, I'm sorry. I have nothing. I have nothing. If I think of something crazy, I'll let it out at the comic book panel on Sunday or whatever. Saturday, Sunday.
What's up?
When's that other panel? Is it on Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday.
On Sunday, yeah. I'll think about it over the weekend. I don't think there was anything too over the top.
I'll mark that down for the panel, so we'll hold you to it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna write down in quotes notes, and if I
I
have
have a good one. So, because this show was 3D and not 2D, we would write stuff that they would often say, like, we can't do that because it's too expensive for 3D. So it would be like, if the ponies, they couldn't jump in water, they couldn't have, like, get slimed by goop too much. But the funniest one was, we had written this whole outline, and it's for one of the ones that won't come out. So, but Pip was excited because they were going someplace where there was going to be a ball, and she shows up and she's wearing, she has a ball gown on, and she's ready to go, and they're like, oh no, this is sport, we're playing ball. And so she's like upset about it. But the note we got back was that we can't afford for the ponies to have dresses. So, so I was like, you didn't put dresses into the budget in My Little Pony? We did not factor for that.
Yeah, that was such a big thing with G4 too.
Yeah.
Did they not know they can make toys?
It's crazy this didn't work out.
To Sean and Benjamin, with very neat handwriting, I will say.
Good energy.
Did you know about these MLP conventions when you started working on MLPG5? Thank you. And if so, did you ever imagine you'd get invited to one? Or if not, what's your first impression?
Yeah, I never knew about conventions, but I'm excited that they exist, and I'm excited to be here.
I didn't know about them, but I never thought I'd be invited. This is really cool. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, we're very glad to have you here, isn't that right? And certainly music is a very big part of this franchise, especially within this fandom now, so if you want to hear more about the music, there's another panel later today, right back in here. 2, Jenna Warren. Should have read it because it's not as nice for handwriting, but I got this. Do you get to record together with the other VAs, or do you do it separately? How does that work?
Sometimes it depends on where we are and what we're doing in our careers or personal lives. Like right now, Dahlia, she is Misty, is located in LA, and then my Sheree, when she was working on Never Have I Ever, was also located in LA. And then with COVID, we couldn't see each other. And then JJ and AJ, Hitch and Pip, they are incredibly talented singers, and so they do long contracts with different musicals. So sometimes they are in Stratford or in Niagara Falls, and those are places in Canada. And so everyone's schedules are different, but sometimes we do, and often it's just one other person, and then so sometimes when we meet AJ in the room, and then we'll hear Bahia or we'll hear Anna, but they're not actually with us. And that's something that I really do miss about voiceover work, is doing ensemble reports, because it's so much fun and you really have to bounce off each other. But thankfully we still can. Sometimes, even when we're not in the same room, we can still sometimes hear each other.
Awesome, thank you. Because I was also wondering that. So thank you, whoever asked that question. This is for anyone or everyone who wants to answer, but what is a funny thing that you tried and were shot down? So like, you have to take out the xylophone or something. It could be something you pitched, something that was in a score, a way you said a line. Anyone who's ready.
I'm trying to think.
Well, actually, early on, we were establishing themes. Like, they wanted all new themes for the series that wouldn't sound anything like anything previous. And so I had a bit of a harder time coming up with something for Spark. So I kept thinking, Spark is this little dragon, and I'm thinking about How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah,
John Powell is one of
nice.
my favorite composers. And I didn't realize I was doing this, but I was scoring a little bit too much like that. And then Ben came in and he said, well, why don't we try this thing on marimba? And it just worked. Started out like a lullaby, and then turned into what it is now.
Awesome. Does anyone else have a note?
I'm trying to think, like for 2D, they were really happy with the music, and I'm just trying to think if there's anything specific, but nothing's popping in my mind.
I'll also combine it. There was a similar question, which was, is there anything on G5 that you wish had been done differently?
Eight more of them.
Yeah, what's that?
8 more of them.
Should have been longer.
8 more of it? Oh man, well, we all agree.
There was a scene in the last episode, not counting special, I guess, where Izzy had to fight off Uncle Opaline in Bridalwood, and that was supposed to be like, they were like, we want her to really like, in the outline it was like the whole time Opaline's like, this will be a piece of cake, and then Izzy was just supposed to wallop her, just like really mess her up, where it's just like, geez, Louise. And so we had written out this big over the top, and again, it was like, she gets slimed by like a bathtub full of jelly and like, all this stuff, just like a series of traps and like she Home Alones her. I think in the outline it said, Izzy Home Alone's Opaline. It was supposed to be like the full Home Aloneing, where it's like she comes out of it really ruined. Yeah. It's like get her hand burned off. But that, due to budget and timing, it sort of got shrunk down a little bit. That's notes, stuff they wouldn't let us do, and stuff that I wish they would have done. I wish that would have been just like a brutal beating for Opaline in that scene.
She takes her out with her cart there in that scene.
Yeah, that was in it. That was in it from the beginning. That thing where the car just comes through and smash her.
Ben did something really cool with the horn. Remember?
Oh, the horn.
That's right.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
It actually ended up being really funny.
good work,
I'm a horn expert.
horn guy.
I have a follow-up for Tony. Because in that Izzy scene, I would argue that I think all of the points you wanted to make with the Home Aloneing, even if it was cut short, I think they all got across, right? Because I definitely felt like in that scene that she was also going to get smoked. And then the fact that she basically wins until like the dragon cheat code comes in at the end.
Yeah.
I thought that was, I read that exactly the way you said
Well,
it.
thank you. I guess we intended it for it to be brutaler, more brutaler. How do you say? Is that a word?
It is now.
It was just know that in the original pitch and script, it was like crazy. And they sort of pulled it back some.
For the comic panel, I'm gonna write down, is he crazy brutal? And we can talk more about that.
Brutal
next
bastard.
someday. All right, we got time for one more question. Let me find, well, okay, we'll do two. Jenna, what was your favorite episode and why?
My favorite episode hasn't been out yet. But oh yeah, that's what I'll say that one.
All right, rapid fire, I'll do two. If you did a different job for G5, what sounds the most fun?
Different, a voice actor show. Yeah.
Wish you could sing like an AJ. Wish I could be Pip. It's like just
I guess I would design the characters. That would be fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to draw a lot, so I'm like in that same camp.
Perfect, all right. Last one, and I have a feeling this is from one of our sponsors, so I need to highlight it. Are you a roller coaster person? And if so, what is your favorite roller coaster?
Are you a roller coaster person? And if so, what is your favorite roller coaster?
I love roller coasters, and there's one back home at Canada's Wonderland called the Behemoth. I have done the Leviathan, that's actually. Actually, no, Leviathan's the green
Yeah.
one, right? Yeah, so it's Leviathan.
Nice, nice.
Leviathan.
Yeah,
I love
same.
that.
I mean, that is the only amusement park we have.
Yeah.
In Denver, Colorado, growing up, there was one at Elitch's called Mr. Twister, which was like made out of wood. And I don't know if it's still up and running, but at the time it was like the oldest wood roller coaster, and that was very terrifying. I like that.
Nobody asked, but I grew up in Sandusky, Ohio, which has Cedar Point, so mine is Steel Engines. But that's all the time we have, so everyone give it up one more time for Tony, Ben, John, Jenna.
Come say hi at the autograph signing. We want to talk more.
The three to my right will be signing autographs throughout the weekend, cash only. Tony is in the vendor hall. Go say hi, go buy some comics. I can't stress enough how good the comics are. And we'll see you the rest of the weekend. Have fun.
Have a great weekend.
The pony.
Yeah.
Are we having fun?
Oh yeah.
I'm so tired.
Go in there, stranger.
Yeah. Hi. How are you?
Hi, Hibiscus.
Hope you enjoyed our adventures at Harmonycon. Stay tuned for more upcoming adventures. Bye guys!